Sehr geehrte Damen und Herren,
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening from our Klagemauer TV studio in St. Gallen. A few days ago, Klagemauer TV received an important report from Mr. Peter Foster and Thurgau, editor-in-chief of the renowned newspaper Swiss Soldier. Tonight we would like to reveal the content of this article that was published on the 11th of July in 2014 under the headline "Almost a GDR Result" in the newspaper Schweizer Zeit. Swiss neutrality has never been more important than today. Their neutrality is not astonishing, but much rather very necessary regarding the more and more continually escalating events in the Ukraine. The Swiss army as well is supported by their people. However, an EU accession is highly refused. Tibor Tresch and Andreas Wenger are presenting again the ETH MILAG study for Switzerland's security. The survey was carried out in January 2014. Which means before the Russian occupation of Crimea on the 1st of March this year. With 336 pages, this work offers a treasure trove of findings. Switzerland's sovereignty, their neutrality and army are well presented. But you should read the standard reference yourself. It's worth it, says Peter Foster. Furthermore, the editor-in-chief names the results of the survey as follows and presented here in the graphs visible on screen. The first result of the survey is similar to the GDR percentage because 96% of the people questioned declared themselves in favor of neutrality. The specific question to the 1,200 interviewees was, "What do you think? How can Switzerland safeguard their interests and at the same time contribute to the world's security?" As a result, the neutrality reached an approval of a sensational 96%. That is a new record since the start of the survey in 1989. Compared with last year, neutrality has gained an additional 2%. You can see this development in the curve that is faded in blue. 81% of the interviewees expressed themselves negatively to the second point of the survey, which is on EU accession. The record level of 2012 has thus been overtaken. Only 17% demanded EU accession without reservation. 34% expressed themselves in favor that Switzerland should approach the EU politically more than before. This is shown by the yellow curve in the middle of the screen. But the increase of the rejection is striking. If in 2005, 63% of the interviewees were still against the EU accession, it is now up to 81%. 4 out of 5 Swiss women and men therefore do not want to become part of the European Union. As an EU accession needs to be decided by the people, it can be recorded at present. In the foreseeable future, Switzerland will not join the EU, says the editor-in-chief. Furthermore, Foster gives a statistic. 80% are for the army. The interviewees expressed themselves in favor for the necessity of the Swiss army with a huge increase of 8%. With 87% in favor of the army, that rating has not been higher since the first year of the survey in 1989. 66% of the people aged from 20 to 29 consider the army as necessary, which is 8% more than last year, shown by the red curve below. Ladies and gentlemen, this is confirmed by the extensive ETH MILAG study for Switzerland's security. The longer, the more, the Swiss citizens are increasingly considering their country's neutrality as indispensable considering global war developments. An accession to the European Union, however, is seen as risky and not desirable by the majority. 80% of the interviewees also have the opinion that the Swiss army remains important, especially in these times. Editor-in-chief Peter Foster points out with this report that neutrality, the rejection of an EU accession, and support of the Swiss army is considered as the best practicable way by most interviewees to face the current global crisis. What would you say, dear audience, on the 3 central terms neutrality, EU accession and Swiss army? Please let us know your opinion or share these statistics with others, as Peter Foster has done with his article in the Schweizer Zeit. Have a good evening and see you next time.